Welcome to Planets and Their Meanings, Episode 2, Timelines, How Different Planets Change You at Different Speeds. The personal planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, describe daily weather, mood, conversations, desires, decisions. Change here is quick and felt immediately. The social planets, Jupiter and Saturn, move like seasons, growth spurts, and milestone audits that shape a year or two at a time. The outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, reshape landscapes, innovations, dissolutions, and deep transformations that rewrite a decade. We'll show you how to stack these clocks so your plans fit the sky you're living under, when to sprint, when to scaffold, and when to surrender to a bigger edit. You'll learn how to read transits to your angles and chart ruler for timing that actually lands, plus a simple 3-tier planning cadence you can start today: weekly, personal, quarterly, social, multi-year, outer. By the end, you won't just know what's happening. You'll know when to push, when to pace, and when to let the river carry you. Begin right where your hands are, the personal planets. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. They move fast, they govern familiar needs, and they respond to small, repeatable acts. You don't have to be a different person to feel their help. You give them what they ask for, and they pay you back with steadiness. The Sun wants a point, not a thesis. One sentence that frames the day so tasks make sense. The Moon wants safety. It can feel in the body. If it's a fire moon, it calms when you complete something. If it's Earth, it relaxes when the environment is trustworthy and the rhythm keeps its promises. If it's air, it breathes easier when thoughts move and someone listens. If it's water, it recovers in softness and privacy with a familiar ritual. Mercury wants the right format for thinking and saying. Bullets or story, walk and talk, or quiet doc. Decision or exploration. Venus wants a touch of beauty and kindness placed where effort actually happens, so you can repeat the day without resentment. Mars wants one clean move and a boundary drawn early enough to be kind. When people say my life finally clicked, they usually mean the personal clock got set correctly. A point, a feed, a format, a small beauty, a clean move. The room quiets. The week cooperates. Now step back to the social planets, Jupiter and Saturn, where years, not hours, shape outcomes. These two write the architecture of a chapter. What your life invites in and what it can hold, Jupiter opens rooms. It expands your world through mentors, airtime, networks, and perspective. It's the green light sensation that says there's more and it's safe to reach. Saturn builds the floor and the frame. It insists on structure, boundaries, timelines, and receipts. Done well, Saturn feels like earned pride. Done poorly, it feels like a moving target you can never satisfy. Most stuck seasons are a poor Jupiter-Saturn handshake. Growth without container, or container without growth. The practical cure is a seasonal pact. One lane for Jupiter where you practice generosity on schedule, and 2 rules for Saturn that keep expansion from becoming sprawl. Publish every Tuesday. Pitch every Friday. Learn on Wednesdays. Meanwhile, no new projects until V2 ships, and every day ends with a visible definition of done. It sounds modest. It changes everything. Doors open because Jupiter finally has a landing pad. Progress holds because Saturn finally has a plan you can finish. Then listen for the deep instruments: Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, the outer planets whose changes are more like weather you live inside than tasks you check. Uranus is the update impulse. It doesn't hate tradition. It hates pretense. Under Uranus, your tolerance for stale rules evaporates. You tell the truth faster. You invent alternatives before impatience turns into sabotage. You don't need to blow up your life to honor Uranus. You need small, regular interventions. Ask monthly, what would I change if I were new here? And change one thing. That single practice keeps lightning from choosing the path. Neptune is wonder and blur, the reminder that meaning is not a luxury. It softens edges, invites prayer and art, and sometimes fogs your glasses so you'll pause long enough to feel again. You don't out-argue Neptune. You contain it kindly. Give it rooms where it's allowed. A phone-free walk, a song in the dark, a sketchbook with no audience, a weekly hour where the point is to remember why anything matters. Then test your dream with a Tuesday-sized action. If a dream survives 10 Tuesdays, it likely deserves a bigger container. If it only survives declarations and late-night adrenaline, it needs more compost before it becomes a garden. Pluto is honest power and compost. It asks you to stop paying invoices to contracts you never signed. Under Pluto, you retire strategies that kept you safe, but now keep you small. You speak truths you thought would shatter the room and discover they open windows instead. The gentle path is little endings on purpose, early honesty, small exits, micro changes that prevent melodrama later. Pluto doesn't require theater. It requires bravery with a very short sentence, spoken sooner than you're used to. How do these clocks work together on an ordinary day? Imagine you've been overwhelmed for weeks. You wake tight, you work hard, nothing moves. You scroll by midnight and call yourself broken. The personal clock asks for 5 to 15 minutes of design. Name the day's point. Feed the moon before the inbox. Choose Mercury's format so thinking has rails. Put one Venus kindness in the middle of the day so the grind becomes repeatable. Give Mars one move and a time box. Nothing dramatic, nothing Instagrammable. The shoulders drop anyway. The social clock asks for a seasonal handshake you can keep. Pick one Jupiter lane and schedule weekly reps. Pick 2 Saturn rules that make finishing normal. The outer clock asks a different question. Is there a deeper hum? If Uranus is tapping the glass, plan 1 update a month. If Neptune is fogging your motive, schedule an hour of meaning. So effort remembers its why. If Pluto is humming, find the contract you didn't sign and stop pretending you owe it. Right speed, right tool. Relief arrives because your nervous system is no longer being asked to do a decade with a Tuesday wrench or to wait a decade for a 5-minute fix. Relationships obey the same physics. People try to repair multi-year patterns with one brilliant date, and they try to stop a single recurring argument with a 12-week course. The personal layer handles tonight. Feed both moons, translate Mercury's by naming the format at the top of a talk, trade Venus gestures in each other's dialect, and let Mars ask whether you need a decision or a discussion. The social layer handles the season. Choose one Jupiter ritual that expands your shared life and one Saturn. Promise you won't break, even when you're tired. The outer layer handles the story. If Uranus is loud, you need novelty and permission to be different together. If Neptune is loud, you need shared wonder. So your glue isn't only logistics. If Pluto is loud, you need truth about money, sex, or power that makes the room breathable again. Pick the layer that matches the problem. Romance stops feeling like a test and starts feeling like craft. Careers, too. The designer who keeps rebranding every quarter may be chasing Jupiter because Saturn never got a box to finish in. One lane for Jupiter. Publish a case study every Tuesday morning. And 2 Saturn rules. Scope freeze on Thursday, version numbers visible on the wall. Turn chaos into cadence. The founder convinced they need a sabbatical might actually need Uranus fed. 1 stale meeting cut, 1 wild idea prototyped at low stakes. The writer who can't produce anything good enough isn't cursed. Their Neptune is starving. A phone-free walk, a poem at breakfast, and 20 boring Tuesday minutes riding toward wonder brings the sentences back. The executive who keeps having power struggles under Pluto doesn't need better tactics. They need a truer title, a cleaner boundary, and 1 sentence said to the right person early. It helps to know how long things usually take. Personal changes can be felt today and stabilized in weeks. Social changes land over months to a couple of years. You measure them by anniversaries and deliverables. Outer changes arrive in waves, often loud for a year and echoing for several. You measure them by how you tell your own story differently to yourself. You don't have to memorize transits to use this. Make a short list of the chapters that already changed you. Notice which clock was speaking then. The body remembers the cadence. People ask how to prioritize when everything is loud. Start with the lowest friction. Personal first. A fed moon, a named sun, a matched format Mercury, one Venus touch, and a single Mars move will not solve your mortgage or your marriage, but they will give you a body that can do the next sane thing. Then adjust the social gear. 1 lane for Jupiter, 2 rules for Saturn, on paper where you will actually see them. Only when you have breath do you negotiate with the outer weather. If it's loud, make a small offering that matches it. If it's quiet, don't summon it for entertainment. Some of the best years are boring. Clean tables, early bedtimes, conversations that don't avoid the point. Let's make this felt with 3 brief portraits. Maya is an artist in a Neptune-heavy season who tried to outwork fog with more hours. Everything got worse. A weekly salon, a 3-song walk, and 20-minute morning pages moved more than 12-hour sprints. Because Neptune finally had a room, after that, Mercury produced again, and Jupiter had something to show off. Theo is a manager in a Saturn year who kept attempting Jupiter solutions, new initiatives, new hires, new markets, while the core process wobbled. 2 rules changed everything. V1 ships Friday at noon, and no new priorities until V2 is defined. His team relaxed. Pride replaced panic. Lila felt Uranus at her back and almost burned her job to the ground. Instead, she made 1 update per month and told 1 clean truth per week. 6 months later, the role had become a better fit without a single bridge on fire. Same person, 3 clocks, different choices. There's a pocket practice that keeps all this honest. Each morning, choose 1 thing at each layer. Personal, what does my moon need before the world touches me? Social, what is today's tiny rep in my 1 Jupiter lane? And what Saturn rule keeps me from lying to myself? Outer, given the weather I can feel, what is the smallest honest adjustment I can make without drama? 3 questions, 3 answers, written where your eyes can't miss them. You won't nail it every day. You won't need to. Consistency is kinder than perfection and still wins every race that matters. I want to underline something that saves people years. You are not lazy for failing to transform overnight. And you are not powerless because inspiration didn't land by Friday. You are a person with 3 clocks. When you honor the short clock with small, repeatable acts, the medium clock with rhythm and rules, and the long clock with gentle containers and early truth, results stop stuttering. Your nervous system stops panicking. You get to feel the noble, ordinary relief of competence. Carry this into your week and test it. End tonight in your moon's dialect, so tomorrow starts with less resistance. Pick a weekday and give it to Jupiter every week at the same time, no matter your mood. Write 2 Saturn rules where you plan. The ones that prevent scope, creep, and declare victory without moving the goalposts. On the 1st of the month, schedule the outer offering. An interrupt to feed Uranus. A wonder hour to feed Neptune. A single, honest sentence to satisfy Pluto. You'll watch stubborn problems soften because the effort finally matches the scale. That's your timing map. Daily levers, seasonal arcs, and long tides working together instead of at odds. And if you want a place to practice all this with curiosity instead of pressure, come play at mysticbolt.com. You'll find simple, free tools that make the clocks tactile. Pull a spread in Tarot Studio when you're not sure which layer needs love. Try the Rider-Waite Tarot app for a quick nudge before you choose your weekly Jupiter lane. Take a free tarot reading to set a theme when Mercury can't pick one. Use chakra frequencies to settle your mind into the right format for work. Wind down with the Pranayama Flow breath timer so your moon trusts the night again. Keep it light. Habit sticks best when it feels like kindness. before you go, tell me which clock is loudest for you right now and the one small adjustment you'll test at that layer. Maybe you'll feed your moon before the inbox. Maybe you'll declare Tuesdays your publish day and hold the line. Maybe you'll change one stale rule, take a sacred hour, or speak a true sentence to someone who needs to hear it. Whatever it is, let it be small and early. That's how your time starts working for you.